In this video, I'm going to be running you guys through what my strategy is when it comes to eating out and staying shredded. Now, this is something that I do. I mean, I pretty much eat out all the time, guys. That obviously at the moment I'm living in Bali. I was living in Thailand before that. And it's just a very kind of outdoor lifestyle in these places. There's not actually that much cooking that gets done. A lot of people are either ordering food, you know, it's actually more cost effective to get food ordered rather than make it yourself. Obviously, it's very good to save on the time aspect of things as well. So I know this is an area that a lot of people really struggle with when it comes to understanding how can I eat out, how can I live my social life or my work life that requires a lot of eating out and manage to stay lean at the same time. And I believe this is something that you absolutely can do. I believe that you can eat out very, very frequently while still having a really healthy body composition, really healthy relationship with food, enjoying a lot of food as well, not feeling like you have to eat a salad all the time, and actually still being able to live a really good life at the same time. So I'm going to break down a few of the strategies that I use, maybe that will be used for our clients as well, and a couple of kind of mindset shifts as well that I believe are also really important when it comes to this type of thing, so that you can start to maybe make the right choices depending on the situation that you're in. So firstly, guys, I want to start by saying that it is about the week rather than the actual meal itself, right? You have to change your mindset when it comes to calories and your nutrition to a weekly model rather than a daily model. If you overeat on one day, it doesn't matter. You can consume less calories either the following day or even within the week to make up for the overconsumption of food. So if you have a big work event or you have a big social event and you eat out, and maybe that's quite common, right? Maybe that happens quite a lot. You can just save a little bit on the calories during other times of the week as to when then you still overall across the week, your amount of calories consumed is still going to be in the right place. Think about your energy balance and your calories almost like budgeting for money, right? We're probably going to spend less money in the week because we're busy and we're working, and you're probably going to go and spend more money in the weekend because you're social, you might want to go out shopping, you might go out to nice restaurants and spend money on food. That's kind of the way that you want to look at your calorie balance as well. So one thing that I do is I definitely eat less food during the week, 100%. I'm very busy with my work. I'm kind of working at the moment quite late in the evening. So I tend to be working up till like sometimes midnight here, just with the time zones. So I'm very conscious about the calories that I consume in the week. I don't consume a huge amount of calories, I wouldn't say. I'd say sometimes, maybe even at the moment, I'm kind of in more of a deficit in the week because the weekends I like to consume a little bit more food. So that's the way that you've got to look at things. And again, I still eat out in the week. I still eat out a lot of the time in the week, but it comes down to making the right choices with the food that I'm eating. And I'm going to get onto that in a little bit more in a second. But that's the biggest mindset shift that you really need to make when it comes to having success. It's that it's okay to have days where you eat a little bit more, as long as you have days that balance it out where you eat a little bit less food. You can't eat loads of food all the time, then you do gain weight. But when you start looking at your physique and you start looking at calories as a weekly budget, it's a game changer when it comes to your mindset and actually understanding that it's okay to have periods of overconsumption if I can then have periods of consuming a little bit less to kind of make up for the energy balance. So that's one of the first things that I would say, okay? The kind of strategy that I use when it comes to eating out is honestly quite simple. And there's a few things that kind of come into this. It all comes down to portion control, and it all comes down to the choices that you make when you eat out, right? I always like to make sure that every single choice that I make when I eat out, the first thing on the menu that I always look at, and this is just subconscious and it's engraved in me now, is what is the protein source I'm going to consume in this meal? Because protein is the absolute foundation. It is the backbone of every single meal. So I always decide what protein source am I going to have first, and then after that I can decide what is the other options that I'm going to have kind of around it. So for me, it's always going to be right, chicken breast, steak, fish, salmon, anything really, like any kind of, I eat all different types of meat. Obviously, they're probably the biggest ones, but I always make sure that I choose that first. Once I've chosen that, I then after that understand, right, okay, now I'm going to choose the rest of my meal after. So it's about understanding like what the protein source is first, and after that we can go into the next bit, right? And then it's about making sure that actually what the rest of the meal consists of is you want, one carb source, right? If you're going to have a carb source, this could be some chips, which is also fine, depending on obviously the situation you're in, some rice, which obviously is good, some potato, bread is absolutely fine, wraps, you might have some fajitas out or something like that. You want to avoid probably trying to choose two carb sources. So like you want to have like, this is more so if you're in a fat loss phase, I guess, but you wouldn't necessarily want to go and have like a burger bun and fries. That's like two carb sources, probably more calories, not really ideal when it comes to that, okay? Then you want to make sure that you have a portion of veg, okay? So we've got core plate of carbs, core plate of protein, and then generally want to make sure we get at least half a plate of veg in there as well, if we can, right? It's like salad, vegetables, mixed vegetables, something like that, which we can get the micronutrients in, the fiber in, which is going to keep us nice and full. The reason why I don't really choose fat so much when I'm going out, in terms of I wouldn't say you need to get a fat source in there, is because most food, obviously when we eat out, is cooked in oil anyway, and there's probably a lot more fat in it than what you think, because fat makes food taste nice, of course, and obviously the biggest goal of a restaurant or when you're eating out is to make the food taste nice. So they will be cooking it in oils, ghees, all this kind of stuff, using higher fat products to make it taste a little bit nicer. So you don't really need to worry about getting fat in once you're eating out. That's the type of model that I would generally use. And also what I would do is I would use what I call the rule of 2 to 4, two of 4. And again, I say this is more of a method that you can use, well, maybe if you eat out quite regularly, but also in terms of more of a deficit. If you're in a fat loss phase, you can use this method, which I believe works really well as well. The method of 2 to 4 is quite simple. Let's say you have a choice of choosing between starter, main, dessert, and alcohol. You would choose 2 of those 4, right? That rule, having a rule is really important, because when you have a rule associated with something, it makes it so much easier to make the right choices. Now, if it was me personally, I probably would go with the starter and the main. I don't really drink alcohol, so it wouldn't be a problem for me. And I would just rather go home and have a yogurt bowl, because that's a healthy dessert to me and it's got a ton of protein in it, berries, all that kind of stuff. That's what I would do if I really wanted a dessert. If I was in a place where I was like, bad dessert, I get sick, I would probably get a main course and then get a dessert. And if I really wanted to have a drink, probably just have a drink. I mean, that's rarely for me now when I go out and have food. I probably wouldn't drink alongside it. Like I sometimes will have a drink if I'm kind of just there to have a drink, if that makes sense, rather than having it in a food setting. But of course, you know, if it's a special event, you can definitely get away with having the drink on top of that if you do want to have a starter meal. But generally, if you're trying to be kind of conscious and you don't want to overconsume on calories, if you go with those rules, and these are the type of things that we give to our clients as well. We always try and cover simple strategies like this, especially as I say, I'm talking more so here when you're in a calorie deficit. The table turns a little bit when you're in maintenance. I'm going to get onto that in a second, but that's a nice, easy strategy that I think that we can use when it comes to making sure that we don't overconsume on calories. Because you've got to remember, guys, we're not going to be tracking calories that well when we're out. It's very, very hard to do that. So it's obviously just about making control in terms of the portion sizes so that we can make the right choices. The other big mindset shift I think is really important to make when it comes to eating out is this. You need to decide whether that meal out is a social event or a work event or just part of your life. Because if you distinguish between those things, it will really make you assess the choice that you have. If you see every single meal out as a social, you are most likely going to choose poor quality food off that menu, almost like free food, eat wherever I want, I'm out, and you're really going to struggle to keep the weight off and you're probably going to go backwards. If you start to actually reflect and think, this is not a social event really, this is just a kind of impromptu meal out, or it's a work meal, or it's just I haven't got any food in the house and I want to go out and eat, a bit like what I do here in Thailand, in Bali or in Thailand. I just kind of want to go out because I haven't got much food in sometimes. It makes me massively assess the choice of food that I have, because it's not a social event. This is me being on top of my game mentally, on top of my body composition, so I stay in shape. So it makes me really assess the food that I have. I will have a very clean meal and it will just be a main course. But what I'm just having that, like, you know, when I used to eat out in Thailand quite a lot. Me and Matt used to go out and eat at the barbecue. We used to just get like loads of grilled meat. We used to get like the broccoli. We used to get like the salad and stuff like that. The rice, to give like bags of rice, because we were doing that most nights. Me and Matt didn't want to go out there smashing loads of calories every single night. We're on holiday. We were there for a month in Thailand, so we made the right choices. There were a few nights as well that I would go out and get like a massive fish. Like literally just got a grill of fish on a barbecue. It tasted amazing. Again, like really healthy choice, loads of protein, quality fats in that meal as well. So once you distinguish, right, what the outcome you want of that meal out to be, social event, work event, party, daily life, you then start to make the right choices. Because if it is a real social event, it's a birthday party, it's a big celebration, you might want to have more of a bigger choice on the menu. You might want to eat a little bit more food. You might want to have a few more drinks. And that's absolutely fine. But let's be realistic, guys. That's probably not going to be very regularly, is it? How many celebrations have we got? One a month? Sometimes some months maybe a little bit more around December and things like that. But really, it's not as many as we think. So we start to then make a distinguishment between social event, work event, normal life, just generally, general lifestyle. And then from there, you can make really good choices. Because for me now, I pretty much when I eat out, it's not that really like there's not that many that I say social events. It's more just part of my lifestyle, right? So I will just make the right choice. Every now and then, if like back and see my family and then like dad would be like, Chris, do you want to go for a curry? Yes, and I will absolutely enjoy a curry properly. I'd eat nice food. Generally then I'd always go for a starter and a main, get some nice like onion bhajis, poppadoms, all that kind of stuff. Main course, get a nice curry, rice, maybe even a bit of naan. That for me is more of a social meal, because me seeing my family, right? Just different way in which I look at things. I think making that mindset shift is really, really good. It's really important, and it helps you understand what a social is, what's not the social, how you can make the right choices. And the last thing you can use, guys, you can start to utilize things like AI when it comes to understanding calorie control. There is an app now, and I wouldn't say it's amazing. It's certainly not 100% accurate, but it does help, where you can take a photo of your food and you can even write a little bit of a prompt. You can make a few changes on it. You can change the way that you can decide a few little things you can put into that change. It's called Cal AI, which I've been rolling this out to a few of our clients. Basically, it means that you can take a photo of food, you can get a rough estimate of calories. Now, of course, it's not 100% accurate. How could it be? But you take a photo of your food, and then, for example, it might tell you something which you clearly know is wrong. Like it might think that salmon is chicken. You're like, okay, that's salmon, so it's got more fat in it. You can change this to salmon, and then it will update the calories automatically so that it then gives you the option that would have salmon in it, right? That's a really good tool to get an idea of the calories that you're consuming potentially from just taking a photo of food. It's super convenient. Whack out your phone in your restaurant. Most people take photos of their food anyway, put it on Instagram. I do. Guilty of that. Take a photo out, whack it onto calorie, get an idea of the calories that you consume, and then obviously from there you can ballpark roughly decide whether you think it's accurate or not. I can look at food now and I can tell whether or not I think it's accurate roughly to what I'm trying to consume. But that's because I've been doing this, I've got a lot of skin in the game. I've been doing this for a very long time. I kind of know what I'm doing now to a certain extent. But I've been utilizing that app a few times since I've been out here in Bali, just to get a bit of an idea on things like calories, just to see how many calories I feel like might be in this meal. And I'm like, yeah, do you know what? That probably seems like it's quite accurate. And then I'll just literally schedule and then I'll just log it on calorie for the day. Where my meal prep, I'm eating a lot of meal prep in Bali. I've been using that quite a lot because I've just been literally taking a photo of the meal prep, getting a rough idea of the calories. I do know the calories because they sent me them. I always like to compare. But it's so much easier for me rather than doing MyFitnessPal and obviously just trying to pull the manual ingredients in. I'm like calorie, quite simple, works around my lifestyle. And it's helped. I mean, I've got leaner since I've been in Bali. Last couple of weeks, I've dropped a bit of body fat, feel good. And that is pretty much for me using meal prep and eating out all the time. Like I haven't prepped any food since I've been here. So anyway, guys, that is my rationale. That's my hopefully bit of knowledge to you guys that you can utilize when it comes to eating out regularly whilst getting great results and making it part of your lifestyle and actually not fearing it and thinking it's going to help you it's going to lead to you falling off track, because that's not the case at all. So I hope you find this video useful. Make sure you smash the like button, make sure that you hit subscribe. I'm going to catch you guys in the next video.